This is the future.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another Warframe video. So yesterday I decided to do some high-level missions in Warframe. These include Steel Path Void Cascade, the Archon Hunt, the Netracell mission, and also some Steel Path Conjunction Survival. I was gonna do some farming on both Steel Path Conjunction Survival and Void Cascade, so I decided to go with Necros at first, but honestly after months of playing the Warframe, I think I need another Warframe to play with. I ended up playing with Equinox and I think that this will be my main Warframe for a few months until I get bored and play another Warframe. During the recent Warframe statistics, Digital Extreme showed the percent usage of each Warframes, and Equinox Prime only has a 0.54% usage rate based on the survey. The worst is that its vanilla version only got a 0.08% usage rate, which somehow proves my point in one of my videos saying that this Warframe is one of those forgotten Warframes in the game. We all know that Equinox is a very old Warframe, and some say that she needs a good rework to compete against the new Warframes in the game. However, I think that the Warframe doesn't need a complete overhaul, but just some minor tweaks to her abilities so she can be as good as the new Warframe right now. If you truly want to enjoy Equinox or just want a full recap on how to play Equinox, then I suggest that you don't skip anything in this guide, as I will be thorough with everything. I will give every bit of detail you need to enjoy this Warframe in a real mission, and my only hope is that you will find this video informative. So first of all, I just want to discuss her metamorphosis. This allows Equinox to access her day or night form. In day form, she becomes more offensive, while in night form, she can crowd control and survive with the help of shield restores per kill. Honestly, there's nothing to change about the ability unless you are playing a duality build. There's an augment for this ability that causes her opposite form to split from her when casting Metamorphosis, creating a Spectre armed with the weapon Equinox was using during casting. The Spectre will have 300% bonus weapon damage and it hits like a truck, but it's also a glass cannon, as even a couple of mid-level enemies can kill the clone with a few hits. I think it would be better if they will increase the survivability of her clone, or might as well consider giving a new augment, as the only way to make the clone tanky is if it will be like Wukong's Celestial Twin. That would be broken given that Equinox got an insane 300% weapon damage with her duality augment that will turn your Spectre into a walking, nuking kill machine. Her next ability is called Rest and Rage. When Equinox is in her day form, her second ability will enrage enemies, causing them to gain action speed, but they will also get a debuff wherein they will be more vulnerable to any source of damage. This is similar to having a Speed Nova casting Molecular Prime to enemies, but the only difference is that Equinox Rage ability does scale with power strength, and you can both increase the speed bonus and the vulnerability debuff. While it's a perfect alternative for Speed Nova, it's ineffective sometimes since you would need to balance the energy drain of your fourth ability, plus your third if you're also using it while recasting the Rest and Rage ability to affect multiple targets. There is a way to fix this, and you can make Equinox a budget Nova with her Calm and Frenzy augment. The way this augment works is that aids her in spreading the effects of Rest and Rage. Enemies slain while affected by Rest and Rage spread it to others within proximity for the remaining duration. It's not just good with the day form of Equinox, but also in the night form, as her second ability will turn into a lull ability, just like what we have from our passive monk Warframe. Enemies put to by Equinox's night form are not only susceptible to finisher kills, but they are also vulnerable to stealth damage multiplier. This was the ability used in the past to level up your friend's Warframe quickly in the past. We call it the Equinox buddy system, wherein we run a Calm and Frenzy build, then Equinox puts the entire room of an exterminate mission to sleep, and the player who is leveling will just kill those enemies with a melee weapon. Right now, I rarely see this technique being used, as the Helminth system provides solo leveling methods to players, and also the Steel Path level in Alara Jupiter is an efficient way to level up your Warframes in either public queues or in a dedicated team. Moving on, her third ability is good, but it could be better in my opinion. The most basic thing that this ability can do is when you are using night form, you will emit an aura that lowers the damage dealt by enemies, while using the day form will give you an aura that grants a power strength bonus to everyone who is within range. The aura seems good, but the problem with this is that it drains energy very fast, especially when you have your fourth ability active. Also, the day form will drain energy per enemy affected by the aura, and I think that it has no cap on the number of enemies, just like Sevagoth's gloom ability. The same goes with the day form, and it will drain your energy per ability strength. The worst part is that the night form Form's damage reduction has fall-off mechanic, wherein you get lower damage reduction the closer the enemies are from the Equinox. The aura is divided into 4 rings, and the outer ring will give you the full damage reduction of your Equinox build. You can achieve 90% damage reduction from enemies that are in the outermost layer of your aura if you can gain as much as 500 power strength in your Equinox build. But again, that is only good in the simulacrum, and it's impossible to use that in a real mission scenario. If we were going to min-max the build of Equinox, taking into consideration also his other abilities, then I would suggest 209% power strength is the right amount of strength, and this will give you 38% damage reduction when enemies are in your face, and 76% damage reduction while enemies are at the outermost layer of your aura. When enemies are at the second outermost ring, you will reduce their damage by 63%. And when enemies are at the second closest circle, then you will reduce their damage by 50% with 209 power strength in your build. The build would be like this, and it will help you make her third ability effective in a real mission. Do take note that Pacify and Provoke have a weird mechanic where an energy restoration such as the Wellspring ability from Zenuric or the Energy Siphon mod will still work even if the ability is channeling. Using a Nourish build will out-restore the energy drain of her Pacify and Provoke. This ability gets even better when you have the Peaceful Provocation augment that grants slow debuff to enemies while in night form, and ability strength bonus to your day form while the third ability is active. At 209% power strength, you will not only reduce the damage taken by Equinox, but you will also slow enemies within the aura by 80%. In day form, you will grant more power strength to your allies, but it would be better if Digital Extremes did not cap the power strength bonus to 50% only and would somehow give it 100 or more bonus. With all the methods we have right now to get power strength, Equinox buff is falling off the scale, and it would be so much better to give it more power strength bonus to make the Warframe more fun to play in team composition. The night form is probably the best part of her third ability right now as it provides survivability to Equinox. But here's the weird part though, for you to get the slow percentage of the Peaceful Provocation augment, your health must get damaged first, and this is not a good idea for a squishy Warframe such as Equinox. There's a way to trick the system though and get the 80% slow percentage from Peaceful Provocation, and that is by using the duviri arcane called Arcane Intention. This arcane grants 250 max health if you activate a channeling ability. You can get this arcane in duviri Steel Path Circuit from the vendor in your Dormy Zone or the new Arcane Dissolution system right now. This works with both Equinox's third and fourth abilities, giving her a maximum of 500 bonus max health when activated. However, we will not use this to gain health, but to activate the 80% slow of Peaceful Provocation in our build. To do this, simply select the night form and activate your Pacify and Provoke ability. This will give you 250 bonus health already, and then cast Mend and Maim for another 250 bonus health. Once you deactivate the fourth ability, it counts as health loss, and her Peaceful Provocation will scale that health loss and give you the slow debuff. This means you can build up Peaceful Provocation just by casting Mend on repeat, and it's the method I have been using for quite some time now to get the 80% slow percentage from Equinox third ability. With this setup, you can turn Equinox into a budget meal Sevagoth that has a lower slow percentage, but with damage reduction and better energy maintenance, since you can still regenerate energy with the Nourish and Zenuric combo while the ability is active. Also, the slow Peaceful Provocation stays in the form of an aura after the Arcane Intention trick, and you don't need to activate it every time there's a new spawn of enemies. The only downside though is your build will be exclusive to night form as first. You will need to keep Pacify active all the time to stack and maintain the maximum 80% slow. Using your first ability to switch to day form will deactivate her third ability, and you will need to do the Arcane Intention trick again. The worst is, if you love Equinox nuking on her fourth ability, then this setup will hinder you from doing that if you are more inclined towards getting the survivability and crowd control of the night form. I hope that the energy transfer augment of her fourth ability affects all of her abilities and not just the Mend and Maim ability. Having the ability to store the stacks of slow from Peaceful Provocation or even the ability bonus from the day form without deactivating the skill would unlock the full potential of Equinox in my opinion. Energy transfer augment is probably the best in the slot for every Equinox nuking build as it lets you stack damage while you're in night form. The stack will be stored even if you are switching forms, and it's super effective since you would want to be in night form most of the time. This is because the night form will give you the Mend buff that grants flat shield values per kill within the radius of the ability. For a pure night form build, you don't need energy transfer as you will just be casting and recasting Mend for survivability. But for a nuker nuker build, staying in night form will give you survivability, and energy transfer is the best in slot mod since you can store that damage from night form and switch to day form once you think it's the right time to nuke a room with millions of slash damage. Honestly, nuking with maim is one of the most satisfying things to do in the game, and Equinox becomes a perfect Warframe in a team scenario as it allows you to build up that damage stack fast and get that millions of slash damage. Now, there is another build I'm using before the Nourish setup for Equinox, and this takes care of the survivability needs of the Warframe. I have used a muzzle flash build for Equinox in the past, and this works wonders in team composition as muzzle flash grants insane crowd control with no additional energy cost per second. The muzzle flash augment will activate most of the time in a team composition, and it will blind enemies, even Eximus units with overguard, and they will be disabled waiting for you to kill them. This setup, though, requires more than just arcane energy, as I don't have Nourish to increase the energy restoration of the build. I added a violet archon shard in this for that equilibrium effect, and every health orb now converts to energy. This allows me to maintain my energy while my fourth ability is active, even if I have blind rage in my build. By the way, the reason I have blind rage in my build is for the shield per kill on her fourth ability and not to increase the damage multiplier of her fourth, as ability strength may affect the damage of your fourth ability, but not the conversion percentage, which is the most important part of the skill. Also, the main ability accumulates 75% of damage dealt to enemies' shields and health while they are within the aura radius as slash damage. However, the accumulation occurs only when the enemy is killed, whether they are still inside the aura or not. Upon deactivating maim, all stored damage is released in a violent burst that affects all enemies within range. In most cases, finisher builds are the ones that will allow you to stack damage on day form fast. Sadly, I'm out with bio resources right now, but if you have, then try the combination of Mag's Pull with Equinox and a hammer. Pull will group enemies in one spot and they will be knocked down, leaving them susceptible to ground finishers. This allows you to increase your damage stack per finisher kill fast, and this will give you more survivability as each ground finisher kill counts as a finisher, which triggers arcanes such as Trickery. It's a cool combo I suddenly bumped on while doing the script for this video, but this type of setup would just be for solo plays, as in team composition. Your allies will aid in increasing the damage stack fast that you can build it up to 1 million or more in just a few seconds. Equinox is truly a unique Warframe that has multiple playstyles that you can enjoy. However, I'm hoping that in the future, Digital Extremes will give the Warframe some quality of life changes, such as the things I have mentioned in this video, to make her better. I truly believe that Equinox only needs little changes to climb up to the top 10 meta, as her kit is unique and offers a variety of builds to play with. With her current state, I am enjoying her as a nuking Warframe with the muzzle flash setup and with the pure night form build for survivability and crowd control, which are both perfect for either solo plays or team composition. Now, just imagine if Digital Extremes will make the changes that I have said in this video. So that's all about it. I hope that you have learned something from this updated Equinox video guide. Let me know in the comment section below what Warframe you want to learn next. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in my next video. Squad Leader signing off.
This is the future.